Episode of the Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
All right, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. I want to take this opportunity to say, grab your virtual seats and know that today's episode, we're going to be on an emotional roller coaster here, but we're going to, at the end, hear this woman's plea to end gun violence. Charmaine Brown is here with us today. Welcome, Charmaine. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Now, you're located in the Atlanta area, correct?
Yes.
All right. I'm in Charlotte. I'm in the Charlotte, North Carolina area.
Okay.
You have family here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, today I don't wear too many colors that often, but I wanted to wear gold today in honor of your son. So I wanted to just let you know that I stand with you, and I'm honored to be able to share your story right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So thank you for taking your time to be a part of this broadcast today. So we're going to have a deep-rooted discussion, and it's kind of a touchy topic because so many people have so many different opinions when it comes to gun violence, gun safety. It's a pandemic at this point. And so I really cannot really wait to hear your take on this and why you think it's so important to end gun violence and what your perspective is. So everybody grab your virtual seats. We're going to kick today's episode off just with a quick commercial, and then I'm going to come back and introduce Charmaine to you all so that we can hear as much of her story and the organization that she's formed and everything that she's doing to try to change the trajectory of how guns are dealt with in this United States of America. Okay. All right. So we'll be right back after this commercial break, and we're going to hear from Charmaine Brown. We'll be right back.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everyone, we're back, and we're talking today with Charmaine Brown, and I would like to introduce her to you. Mrs. Charmaine Brown is an advocate for public safety measures with a strong desire to protect people from all forms of violence. She started Jared's Heart of Success after her son, Jared's life was taken as a result of senseless gun violence. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show, Charmaine Brown.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Now, from a statistical perspective, it's so many people that are dying at the hands of senseless gun violence. And I don't know, do you automatically share statistics and things when you're talking about gun violence, or how do you usually educate people about this?
Yes, actually here in Georgia, there are 161 children and teens that die by guns every year, with 63% of those deaths amongst children and teens are homicide.
Wow. That's an unbelievable amount of people. Yes. And so I wonder why is it that people are against stopping gun violence? What is it? What's the debate? I really don't understand what the debate is.
Well, actually, right now we're actually working to get the laws changed. Okay. I think most often the misconception is when you speak to gun violence, right, individuals seems to think that immediately you want to take their guns. And
That's
it's
what I was
never,
wondering, Charmaine. That's what I wanted to get to right there. That's what people are thinking. They want, like, you're not going to take my guns. So then that's when they're kicking up against it.
absolutely.
Okay.
And that is not the case. As you know, here in Georgia, Georgia is the has the ninth highest rate of gun violence in the United States. And our Black children and teens in America are 14 times more likely than their white counterparts to die by gun homicide. So our Black children and teens, again, 13 times more likely to be hospitalized for firearm assault.
Wow.
So it is impacting our youth tremendously.
Big time in unbelievable ways. According to this one statistic, the trace.org 2021 gun violence data, it says that the number of gun deaths, excluding suicides, this is not including suicides, in 2021 was 20,726. That's a lot of deaths just with gun violence.
Absolutely.
This is like, I know when you're probably going through different interviews on different platforms, I know there are like long pauses because some of this information is just too overwhelming to digest in an hour. You'd be like, what? The number of mass shooting incidents in the United States in 2021 is 693. That's to me a lot of people that are getting shot in a mass shooting situation. I know you're an advocate with Sandy Hook situation as well. So people are dying at unbelievable rates, and yet there's still, like you said, there's a debate because people think that you're trying to take their right to have or to bear arms. I don't think, based on what I've heard, any of your interviews that you've already done in the past, that that's what you're advocating. Correct?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I am not. But I do advocate for keeping guns out of the wrong hands.
Okay.
And safe storage. And it's just protecting our family, our loved ones, and keeping them safe.
This is a really good discussion. Listen, everybody, as you're coming on to this episode, make sure that you share the broadcast. Give everybody a chance to voice their opinions. Hear the story of Charmaine Brown. I didn't start off with her talking about why she's so passionate about this, because I want to give everybody a chance to come on into the platform. And then we're going to deep dive and learn more about why it's so personal to her. So if you have any questions today, go ahead and put them in the comment section. Even if you just have words of encouragement, put those in here as well, and we'll pop them on the screen as well throughout today's broadcast. But we're talking with Charmaine Brown, and she has a very personal reason why she wants to end gun violence. I see you, Dr. Lotus Richey, and Charmaine Brown would be a wonderful guest to have on your show as well. She has the Lotus Richey Ignites show, Charmaine, and it's a global program. She said, "Thank you, Kim, for your prayers for my mom and my family." Thank you. It's my honor to pray for you and your family. It's my total honor. Lotus Richey says, "We love the Kim Jacobs show. Hello from New Jersey." Thank you so much. Another excellent topic with a great guest and spectacular. Thank you so much. Yes, those are, Javonia says, those are amazing numbers. And she's hashtag Survivor Strong. You are a survivor, Charmaine, and I would like for you to share what made you become a survivor of gun violence, something that was unimaginable.
Okay, well, actually, it started, I became a survivor after losing my son, Jared, in 2015. I'll never forget the phone call while at work when my husband called to tell me there was a note left on our front door stating our son was dead. I could not understand what he was saying at the time, but I knew something was wrong because he was very upset. So I rushed home from work. As I entered the house, he was sitting in the kitchen with tears in his eyes, and he handed me the note, which was left by the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office. He explained that he had called and was told our son was brought in over the weekend after sustaining a gunshot wound to the head. I still didn't believe it, that it was true. So I called myself. They stated the same thing to me. But next asked, where would I like his remains sent? Refusing to believe it until the next day when I saw our son lying on a gurney inside the funeral home. I was mad, totally devastated. and tired of continuing to hear about the gun violence that continues to take the lives of our children. That's when I knew I could no longer sit on the sidelines and I had to do something about what was taking place.
Okay. Wow. I'm supposed to be the host here, obviously, right? So I'm supposed to keep it together and be strong for you. But I do know that nobody can imagine, if they have not experienced what you've experienced, what you've gone through. And I know right now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the 6th year anniversary of Jared's passing, correct?
This is the 6th anniversary of the organization today, actually, is when I
Okay.
started and founded the organization. But it's almost the 7th anniversary of Jared's death. I started the
Wow.
organization about a year after his death.
Okay, okay. And so with you getting this news, your son, if I'm not mistaken, he was 23, right? Getting ready to turn 24.
Yes, he was. It happened 2 weeks before his birthday. Actually, we later learned that Jared had gotten off work and he was headed in for the evening when a friend called and invited him to attend a cookout he was hosting. As Jared was approaching the friend's apartment, shots rung out and Jared was struck and he died instantly.
And wherever he was at that time, which he was not obviously home, anywhere near home, but where he was he was getting off work. He was just doing his normal life. 23 years old, things were going good for him. He was just living his best life, getting ready to come home from work to go and start the next day, but wanted to just detour and be with a friend for just a celebratory moment. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Those are
Correct.
just regular things that people do when they're in their 20s. And so he wasn't at some bad thing that would have that would have considered, oh, well, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time and all of that stuff, or he was a part of some gang, any things that people say, okay, this is stuff that happens and that's why it happened. Which, first of
Correct.
all, let me be very clear. I'm Kim Jacobs. I'm talking from Kim Jacobs' perspective, not as the host of a show representing just the show itself, because the views do not always reflect that of the show. But let me say this, that no matter whether a person is in a gang, whether a person's been dealing drugs, any of that stuff that they've done does not merit their lives being taken.
Absolutely.
So let me make very clear that I don't share in that philosophy that, oh, what they should have been doing. I disagree with that. I don't think that anybody's life deserves to be snuffed away from this earth for maybe some reform programs or different things of that nature, but I don't think people's lives need to be taken or stripped away from them. But in Jared's case in particular, he was coming from work. He was
Yes.
just going home, but then just say, hey, let me run over to my boys' cookout right quick. Let me head over here and get a little hot dog, hamburger, just chill out. And on
Right.
his way there, you find out that that's when his life was taken.
Yes. My
And you
husband
didn't.
and I actually was out of town.
Okay. So you all were out of town, and then when your husband got the note, I had seen another interview where your husband actually got the note off of the front door and was
Yes.
heading, if I'm not mistaken, to Home Depot or somewhere, just a regular routine thing that he was doing when he
Yes.
found out about your son's passing, right?
Absolutely.
And then you couldn't believe it, obviously, and then came back and said, no, that can't be the case. So you had to get verification yourself. When you and your husband realized that Jared literally he's not going to be here on this earth anymore. I stumble when I'm interviewing you because I've had my son pass too, and he passed in 2015 as well. You may not have known
I'm
that.
sorry to hear that. No.
Yeah,
So
because we
sorry.
don't know each other. So just so everybody that's watching, Charmaine and I are meeting for the first time today as well. And
Yes.
no two passings are alike. But she knew that her son had his whole life ahead of him.
Yes.
What did this do for your whole outlook on life whenever your child, I already know the answer because I've had a child pass away, but this is just for you all, the public, to hear the answer. But what did this do for you as you were going on your new journey, having to go forward without your son
Well, actually, when it happened, I was in a very dark place. But I was, I refused to stay there. Jared was our only son. We have two daughters, but that was our, Jared, he was our only son, and we wanted that. I remember my husband and I having this discussion that, he wanted a son. And to lose Jared at such a young age, it, was just devastating. And we had to learn, and continuously, it's an ongoing process, to continue to process what has taken place, because it just does not make sense. But for me, as a mother, I came to a place that, I was going to not sit on the sidelines, but try to help other youth and young adults, and other survivors who had been faced with a similar situation, because this has to stop. It cannot continue to happen. And, just like I stated, it's an ongoing process, learning to deal with grief. I actually took a course myself just to learn how to process it, to help myself and my family.
I know. And what we learned, Charmaine, is that we still have to go forward for those that are remaining here on this earth, because we have to encourage them and know that they know that we're still celebrating and cheering them on in this journey. But we can never let the legacy of our child that passed away die, his memory, what he believed in, right? It's no way that you could let that die. So tell us some of the things that Jared was passionate about.
Well, Jared, he loved to play at the time. I mean, he was still, at a young age. So he loved basketball. He loved hanging out with his friends. He loved telling jokes. I mean, he was the jokester in the family, always doing pranks. He, just was full of joy and just loved life. And he loved everybody.
And so you starting Jared's Heart of Success, what made you specifically choose Jared's Heart of Success? Those are like very specific. These are not just pull out a rabbit out of a hat words. Jared's Heart of Success. Why that?
Actually, the vision itself was a vision given to God, given from God after much prayer. And so after, about 7-8 months of journaling and trying to just process what had taken place and much prayer, like I stated, I actually was taking care of my father at the time. And I had went to pick him up from our oldest daughter, who had just given me a break, because during the time of losing Jared, my father had a stroke 2 days later. And so fast forward to about almost a year later, our oldest daughter had taken my father on a visit.
Okay.
On my way back, I literally heard God say, Jared's Heart of Success. I had all the other information, but didn't have a name, did not want to move forward until I had a name of what I was going to do with the organization. I literally heard God say, Jared's Heart of Success. I will never forget that. And the meaning behind it is so that Jared Heart will continue to beat through the work and our mission of the organization.
Wow. Well, I'm actually going to take people over to, and you can share the site, which we will share everything. Let me at least put this up here so you guys will be able to know how you can stay connected with Charmaine Brown. It's Jared's heartofsuccess.org. And Jared, everybody that's in the audio podcast listening world, that's on iHeartRadio and everything, is JAREDS, heartofsuccess.org. And they also on Instagram at Jared's Heart. Twitter is at Jared's Success. Facebook is Jared's Heart of Success. So you all make sure you stay connected with them via social media platforms and all of the programs that they have going on. But I want to take a moment just to go over here to your actual website, Charmaine. I love this website, by the way. And that way people can get a visual right now of Jared's Heart of Success. I love the colors. I love the imagery. I love the heart, the gold heart that he's wearing. That's why I told you. That's why I'm wearing some gold today. I like all of the different programs and things. I've seen quite a few videos of young people that are actively involved in your program. And so I want you all to go and check out jaredsheartofsuccess.org. You're going to learn so much about Jared L. Brown, who was on this earth from July 29th, 1991 to July 11th, 2015. And so this, he literally, I want to understand that the person that killed him, they didn't know him or anything, right?
No, he did not know Jared, but that person had been in an altercation earlier that day with the individual that invited Jared to the cookout. And so
Oh, wait a minute. I did not know this. The person, wait, you know what? I know I'm going ahead of myself. Let's do this for a second. jaredsheartofsuccess.org. Make sure you check this out because I want to pull her back full screen. But I do want people to know the mission of Jared's Heart of Success. Say that first, and then I'm going to come back and hear your story about what happened. So talk about for a second the mission of Jared's Heart of Success.
So in our organization, we educate on violence prevention and safety measures that could save lives. We also advocate to prevent gun violence and support survivors. And then we empower youth and young adults with skills to help them become confident leaders and build their self-esteem.
And they have so many. If you go to the Facebook page and look at Jared's Heart of Success, you're going to hear from young people. You're going to hear about different safety weeks, gun safety weeks, all kinds of events that they have going on to make sure that young people, if I'm not mistaken, ages 8 to 18, female or male, are part of their organization and really spreading the word, right?
Yes.
I went through this and I spent like a few days just deep diving onto all of the programs and the impact that you all are making on this society with educating people about gun safety and prevention of gun violence. You're doing a magnificent work. So I didn't want to just brush past and just say, oh, go to jaredsheartofsuccess.org. You have to see this. Look at this. They are making a difference in the lives of others. And you can become a volunteer no matter where you are in the United States. I already know this, like I'm now an advocate, right? I'm with your organization. You can become a volunteer no matter where you are virtually. So please check out jaredsheartofsuccess.org. All right. So I really wanted to take a moment to do that because you've done so much work. You're representing your son at the highest level possible, and I want to commend you for that. So tell us what happened with the situation as far as the person that did shoot your son.
Actually, he was in an altercation earlier that morning with the individual who had the cookout. They were playing video games, and he got upset with him. He sold him a part, and the game, it was a broken console. So he sold it to him for $30. And the young man, he called him back later and told him that he wanted the money back. But the young man said that he didn't have the money. He had spent the money on the food for the actual cookout that he was having. And so he became enraged and told him that he would deal with him later. So in turn, he actually, returned to during the time of the cookout and started, spraying bullets into the crowd. And Jared was struck. Jared had no idea what was going on because the friend didn't tell him. That is why it's so important. I always stress, if you see something, say something. Because had that individual told Jared that, he had been in an altercation, this young man, did give a warning. And oftentimes individuals do, but he didn't say anything. And so Jared literally, walked in a line of fire. So
wow, this is such a educational moment for everyone. What I hear you saying is that there's always some type of, not always, but in many instances, there are signs and there are precursors or just some premonition and different things that's happening where people are saying on their own social media postings, or they're literally calling, I'm coming to deal with you at a later time. So in that case, the gentleman might have been able to say, hey, cookout over. This guy has lost it because I done bought these items with his money. And until I can get his money back, I don't really want other people coming around me, because something might pop off, and just out of courtesy for you guys. Anything can happen differently, right?
Exactly. That's right.
So looking for the signs and being able to speak up about it to other
Yes,
people.
absolutely. If you see something, say something. Don't worry about, oftentimes, especially the younger generation, think, well, I don't want to say anything because I'm snitching, but it's a possibility that you could make a difference by saving a life if you say something. So I can't stress it enough. If you see something, say something about it.
That's a good tip. I'm typing what you're saying here. And did the individual end up getting arrested and
Yes. Yes,
put?
he did. He was arrested. He actually was on the run for about a week, and they located him. He was a convicted felon who should have never had access to the gun. He actually got life in addition to 25 years in
But
jail.
at the
He
end of
was
the
the same
day,
age. He was the same age as my son. So his family, there's a loss. For our family, there's a loss. No-win situation.
that's horrible, because exactly what you're saying. And I know a lot of times when there are different mass shootings and incidents, people in different social media outlets and news media outlets they don't highlight, but they mention the person that did it, and they kind of say this is the background of that individual. But then, like you said, there's a person on the other end, which in your case is Jared, your son. He's no longer here on this earth because of that person's act. But that person's act, their family is devastated, because it's like, I cannot believe that you chose this as the outcome of how you would deal with conflict or deal with the situation. So both parties end up losing out, where now the whole world is impacted by it.
Yes.
From this senseless situation. So your advice, what advice are you giving people? I know you say see something, say something. That's some of the advice that you're giving, because it can save a life. After this commercial break, what I would like to know is, what do you want people to do? Like, I hear so many different programs where you have someone that's an advocate for gun safety, gun violence, ending it, the pandemic, let's call it quits and let's have a truce. But nobody really knows where to start, how to do this. What are some things, because you are so passionate about it and you're an advocate now, that you can tell us commoners how to deal with this and how to pitch in to help, right when we come back after this commercial break, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story today, too. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not just another day, it's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, we're talking today with Charmaine Brown, mom of Jared Brown, who was tragically killed in 2015 due to senseless gun violence that could have been avoided. And somebody had already had a beef with someone, and he kind of just walked into the line of fire, unbeknownst to him, just going for a regular old fun friend time. But it ended tragically for him and his family. So today, mom, Charmaine Brown, is here to talk to us about how to end gun violence. So Charmaine, tell us some things.
I think, for one, that the youth, we have to teach our youth how to deal with conflict, and then address the underlying trauma and try to reduce the exposure to violence that they see on a daily basis. With our organization, we're teaching healthy coping strategies, as well as provide tools for their own emotional well-being. And as a result, we feel that this would help break that generational cycle that we see with our youth getting into the criminal justice system, or the reduction in fractured families, so that the next benefit the next generation will benefit. Parents need to speak, talk to your children, and see where they are, find out what's going on with them, and be in their lives, to know as much as possible where they are and what is going on, but also talking to them. I think parents are the youth number one advocate, and so instill in them value.
That's good. This is good. Everything that you're saying, if people would do these things, I think that it would help in this pandemic of so much violence occurring, but not everyone's willing to do it because they say, oh, they're grown. They can do what they want to do at that point. And that's, I think, another thing that I've observed, Charmaine, when a person becomes of a certain age, then it's sometimes this hands-off approach, but we can see that is something going on with that person. But I know in situations that I've seen and witnessed, even within family, because I have different family and friends, very close friends that have dealt with situations, you can't always intervene on someone else's behalf that is dealing with something mentally.
Mhm.
You don't have the authority or the jurisdictional right to say, you got to get some help. And I'm going to ensure that you get it because I believe in you and I love you and I'm not here to judge you. I just want to help you get the help that you need. But if they don't want the help, Charmaine, then they're still just walking around in society as if there's nothing wrong. But there
Exactly.
is something wrong.
Yes. And most oftentimes, what I have come to an understanding to know throughout this process is that a lot of it start at a young age. That is why the organization started at the age of 8, literally working with the youth at an early age in elementary school. I feel like if you can start with working with them at a younger age, that they'll get it at least, and you have it embedded into their minds so that when they do become older, with the hope that they still remember what was instilled in them, the values that you have taught them at a young age.
Good.
Because it is starting so much earlier now. I
Yes.
literally, was working with a group this week, and I actually saw the body language of one youth that, you could tell that the peers that was around her literally was moved by her actions without her even acting out, in a sense. And so now, with the youth, and it's starting so much earlier,
Yes.
you have to reach them as early as possible.
Wow. I'm glad that you're saying that. Some virtual studio audience comments are coming in. So I'm going to pop a lot of them on the screen and give you a chance if you would even address it, comment on it, or if it's something you're not going to address, I'll just keep it moving. But I want to give them a chance to comment on some of the things that you're sharing as well. I see you, Shambria, and Shambria is the one that's on our team, the Kim Jacobs Show team, and she actually referred you to our program today. So thank you, Shambria, and please keep wonderful guests like this coming to the show. Okay, we appreciate you being on our team as well. Thank you. She says, "Hey, Charmaine."
How I said thank you.
Yes. All right. Javonia says who they are hanging out with on their social media accounts is also important.
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
My cousin Veronica is on. Hey, V. And she has a travel agency in case anyone's interested in doing land or sea packages. She does a great job of pulling that all together for you. She said also, let your children know that there are consequences to everything they do. How important is that?
That's right. There is. That's
Okay.
another thing that we talk to the youth about within our program. There's a consequence to your action.
Yes.
So you have to make the right choice, because then if you don't, then you have to live with the results of the actions that you make.
Javonia says Jared's Heart of Success also focuses on bullying and being kind campaign.
Yes.
Well, you know what? Now y'all see, I was trying not to talk too much about Gabe, but now guess what? I have to tell you that Gabe's Heart Foundation.org is in honor of my son, my 12-year-old son that transitioned home. And we both have hearts. And I would love for us to be able to partner together and do something. We focus on definitely the bullying component and how to be kind. And he was known as Guardian Gabe at his school. In the 6th grade, he was 5'10", a giant amongst the land, but he served as the anti-bullying mediator. And I didn't even know that the kids were calling him Guardian Gabe. And that was because the people that were doing the bullying and those that were being bullied, he helped them become friends. And I found that out after he had passed away. And that makes my heart just so glad to know that he did random acts of kindness, and he fed the homeless, and he did all of these things to make everybody feel like they were somebody special. And the cards that came in were, "Hi, I'm such and such. I'm Gabe's best friend." I have hundreds of cards that say, "I'm Gabe's best friend." They can all be Gabe's best friend, but they were Gabe's best friend to them because Gabe made them feel that way.
He was making a difference.
So I would love to collaborate. Okay.
Yes, I would love that as well.
Athena, our sunshine expert, says, "Hey, your organization, Jared's Heart of Success, is an amazing organization."
Thank you.
And another person says, "This journey is enduring. Thank you for your advocacy and turning your pain into power." And I see you, Dr. O'Shea says, "Just share approximately 10 groups in climbing, and you can too." She's a marketer, so she's like, "Y'all better start sharing this platform." So she's sharing it globally right now.
Thank you.
It's about common sense, gun laws, and firearm safety. Thank you, my survivor, my sister, Charmaine. All right. All right. I see all of your comments continuing to flood in, and I will make sure I keep putting them up throughout the broadcast. So what are some of the organizations, Charmaine, that you've become a part of? Yeah, what are some of the organizations that you've become a part of since Jared's passing?
Actually, I am a member of the Evertown for Gun Safety organization, Moms Demand Action. I work closely on the school advisory board with Sandy Hook. So those are some of the advocacy for gun violence organizations that I advocate along with here locally and nationally. I actually have a youth that is a member and serve on the advisory board for the National Students Demand Action, and as well as I had a member on the board for Sandy Hook Youth Advisory Board as well. So our youth advocate nationally and locally on behalf of safety measures to prevent gun violence and all forms of violence in the community, in school, at home.
Excellent. So I have here advocacy for gun violence, you Moms Demand Action, National Students Demand Action, and what other one did you say?
Evertown for Gun Safety.
Evertown for Gun Safety. Okay, what does that entail? Because that's so every town in the United States can jump on board for gun safety.
Yes, actually, that is exactly what it engulfs. Okay. Evertown is a part. Evertown was a foundation started by Mike Bloomberg, and it came from Mayors Against Illegal Guns. And so Evertown for Gun Safety, it's the largest gun violence prevention organization in the country with grassroots chapters in all 50 states.
Wow. Okay. And so do you see yourself going? Where do you see yourself going? Because I could throw you straight up there with Stacey Abrams. So just tell me where you see yourself, because I could see you going pretty way up there in the political chain. So tell me where you see yourself.
Well, actually, part of Moms Demand Action at Evertown as well, they have a new program called Demand a Seat. So I just completed that cohort with demanding a seat.
Okay, I saw that when I was doing my research, and so let me see. Is this? I don't know if this is a picture of it, but what is this?
No. Oh yes, that is it.
Yes, I am good. Yes, Kim, you know your craft. This is some good stuff. When I saw that, I was so inspired when I saw this picture, because this, even though it's obviously a very tragic situation and extremely sad time, but you have taken your pain and turned it into something that's going to change the lives of every other mother that exists on this earth. And so I'm just so personally proud of you for taking this stance and taking this approach. And I see here too, this is your Boaz.
Yes, that's my husband, James.
And I said Boaz from
going on 33 years this year.
Congratulations to you and to your
Thank
husband.
you.
And I do want to find out too, how did this, how does this take a toll from your perspective on a marriage? Or because this show is about how people balance different aspects of their lives, and we still have some more time. So I'd love for you to be able to share how grief and death of a loved one, that your child, the child that you all bore together, how does that impact a marriage from your perspective? And you
It
still made it
definitely
through.
can take a toll, but we was just determined that we were going to lean on each other and have each other's back. And, there are times that, I'm literally exhausted. He lifts me up and vice versa. And that is how we have been. Now, he's not out in the forefront like myself. He does not care to speak publicly at all, but he is in the back and he helps and support the organization in so many different ways behind the scenes.
That's so awesome. I'm just typing different things that you say. And for those that are tuning in, we're talking with mom Charmaine Brown, and she's talking about an organization that she started in honor of her son, Jared Brown, who was tragically killed in a senseless manner in 2015. And his life was taken, and it didn't even have to be taken because somebody could have communicated and said, hey, don't come over here because we have some beef thing happening and I don't want you to get it in the crossfire. And I don't even know what this person is capable of doing, but because they've said that they would do something, I'm going to take that threat seriously. Now, I want to hear you talk too for a moment about when somebody says that they're going to do something, what advice do you give? I mean, take it seriously, right? I don't know any other advice.
Yes, I think that the first thing you should do is take it seriously. And then the second thing, you should report it. You should let someone know. If it's during school, let a trusted adult know. If it's in the general population in a community, call the police and just simply tell them, hey, there's non-emergency lines that you could just, call in and leave a message and tell them. This is something I heard. I'm not sure if it's possible, but I want to at least let somebody know.
That's so good that you're saying that, because sometimes I think people are afraid to speak up because they don't want their name caught in the middle of anything, because then it looks like they're snitching, or it looks like, well, only these few people knew, so it's one of y'all, so now I'm putting all of you on a target list. So it's a lot of different things that come about because people speak up. What do, in all of the different organizations that you've become a part of now, and the different techniques and strategies that you're learning, how can people do some of these things anonymously?
Sandy Hook has a anonymous program where you can call and report an actual threat or just something that you possibly have heard. So there are programs that you could report it anonymously and not give your name, and they will follow through. It's a national base. So no matter, where you are, you can call and give the information, and they would alert authorities in that particular state. So they
Oh
have
my goodness. So this is nationwide. How do people call them? Do you have a number or something, or where do I send people for that?
I do.
Okay.
I have a number for it.
Take your time. We're going to take a commercial break and give
Okay.
you a chance to find that number, and then we'll be right back. We're talking with Charmaine Brown, and she is just literally, in my opinion, doing this with such grace and poise today here on the Kim Jacobs Show to share her story of how her son Jared was, his life was taken away from him in a senseless manner. We'll be right back.
I'm attorney Charles Everett. I started out representing insurance companies until my father was seriously injured at work. 4 of his fingers were amputated. Our family went through a lot, so I know what you're going through as an injured worker. If you've been hurt on the job, call me now. I'll fight to get the workers' comp benefits you may deserve. I'll fight for you like family. Put my experience to work for you. Call 704-457-5000, the first call for injured workers.
All right, everyone, and we're back, and we are continuing our conversation with Charmaine Brown about her son, Jared Brown, and how she continues to keep his heart beating through Jared's heart of success. How can people report these senseless acts of violence without using their names? Calling where?
All right. So they have Sandy Hook has a anonymous reporting system,
Mhm.
and the number is 1-844-5-SAY-NOW. So it's 1-844-5-SAY-NOW. Or they can saysomething.net. They can report it through www.saysomething.net.
Or say
Say
something.
SAYSOMETHING
Okay, I got both
.net.
of those. All right, so I'm going to pop that up here because I want to make sure that not just are we talking today, but you have ways to stay connected, ways to just pick the phone up and to report some kind of potential threat that you've heard, something that is like, you overheard a conversation and it still is like considering somebody might get hurt in the process. Call 844-5-SAY-NOW. 844-5-SAY-NOW, or go to saysomething.net and report it immediately. Don't let the Boston Marathon shooting and the bomb and all of the stuff that's happening around the world happening at these different high schools. People are bringing in guns and taking other people's lives. Their families are changed forever because of senseless gun violence. It can stop, and it can stop if you have information that you can share. So please, let's take advantage of that. What are some other things that you want people to know about Jared's Heart of Success? What's some projects you all have coming up? I want to know everything, but I know in an hour we can't figure out everything, but I want to just hear your whole soul be bared here on this show.
Okay, well, actually, right now we are accepting nominations and applications for the scholarship. Each year, we give scholarships to high school graduating seniors. So right now, we're in the process of accepting applications, and we will be selecting students here in the state of Georgia as well as South Carolina. South Carolina is very dear to us because we're originally from there. Jared always attended and spent a lot of time with our parents that lived there at the time. My parents are now deceased, but his other grandparents are still there as well. And so they could also register under our website, the scholarship piece, any graduating senior here in the state of Georgia.
Graduating senior. That's just incredible. Listen, y'all, make sure that you apply. If you are a graduate, you have a child that's a graduating senior, make sure you don't miss the opportunity. And how soon do they get notified if they've become the recipient?
We are in the process now of reviewing the applicants that have already came in. And we're going to leave it open until May. So they have from now until May.
All right, y'all, listen. Now
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
In July is when we usually make the announcement, but this year we're going to make it before. We're going to actually make it before July. We're going to make an announcement actually in May, but we're not going to close it out until the end of May. Right now, we're going to give 2 scholarships. If we get more funding, we'll give additional scholarships.
Everybody, 2022 scholarship opportunity. If you go to jaredsheartofsuccess.com.org, either or, you will be able to find this scholarship opportunity available. It's Jared L. Brown's Memorial Scholarship. Applications are being accepted right now. You don't want to miss this. They extended the deadline to May 30th, 2022. And all you have to do is go to jaredsheartofsuccess.com/scholarship and apply. You never know. You might be that graduating high school senior that gets that particular award. And so I'm just ecstatic about the fact that people don't understand always how a mom gets the strength to carry on. How, in your words, would you say that you found and mustered up enough strength to carry on and to say, I'm going to rep Jared, and I'm going to rep my girls, my grandchildren. It's like a superpower type of thing. Tell us from your perspective.
Well, actually, I felt, literally from the onset that I was going to continue and be Jared's voice. Right. I said to Jared, literally during the time of the service, I will not let this be another situation that, becomes a statistic and not do anything about it. And so I just continue to share his story and continue to be his voice. As a parent, it is not easy. It is not easy because that was our son who we know had a bright future ahead, and we would have still wanted him to be with us today. And it's not just impactful on myself, my husband, our daughters, but I wanted, him to his legacy to live on.
That's right. That's good. And
So
his legacy is living on.
Yes, my strength, I would say, comes from God. That is my strength.
That's it in a nutshell. You cannot.
Oftentimes people say, well, I tell you, I see you're still standing. Well, I feel like I would not have been able to stand if I do not get on my knees. And that is through prayer that God continues to strengthen me.
Yes. And I know from, my son passing that when people say, oh, eventually you're going to get on past this and all, they have no idea that is, we do not want to hear that. I will never get past my son's passing ever. That's not even something I even want you to tell me. And I'm not interested in entertaining that thought.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to entertain that thought because at the end of the day, he's always going to be my son.
That's right.
And Jared's always going to be your son.
Yes.
You have 2 daughters and you have a son, right?
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
Always.
And I also have grandchildren. And so continuously doing this work that our grandchildren will be able to live in a world free of gun violence.
That's right. That's one of those grandchildren I saw. And is this one too?
Yes, that's our youngest daughter in the middle and our grandson. We have 1 grandson and 2 grandgirls.
Okay, I have one of them here. Lord have mercy, I'm being in trouble. I don't have the other one. Lord, just tell them it was all my fault. Okay. Now, what is this a picture of here?
That's my husband's family.
Okay.
His mother is, in the middle with the gray on. And it was during my sister-in-law's surprise birthday party. So.
Oh, okay. Right. I found all kind of pictures. You have like thousands of pictures on your site, which is beautiful. It lets you know how important family is. How has family supported you all in Jared's heart continuing to beat even beyond his passing?
Actually, they have been very supportive. I have one of my sister-in-laws that's there that you see in a picture extremely helps me tremendously with the programming in South Carolina. She also serves on the board. The family has been very supportive.
Well, wow. Okay. Wow. I have here, as we get ready, we're going to be closing out here soon, but I just wanted to show on your personal page, because when I say literally, it's like so many wonderful photos. I don't know that y'all will all become friends with her on her personal page, but she highlights her family and activities. Can you all see this? The screen that I'm sharing, it's so many beautiful events and activities. And you're a mom that's going to great measures to keep your son's heart beating forever. And I just want to say that I see you, and I know that a lot of other people see all that you're doing too. And you will continue to make a difference in this earth and on this planet. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you, because if you're doing all of this and right in Atlanta, I can't imagine as you continue to go global, how you're going to continue to impact this world. So keep up the great work. I hope as I'm scrolling here, some of these are your family members too.
They are.
Because that way I don't want to miss
my
anybody.
Survivor families, survivor sisters and brothers are included in there as well.
Well, you're doing tremendous work. And all of you all, Charmaine Brown's entire family, I just thank you for standing with her, for believing in her, and going on this journey. I see all of you all. I see all of these pictures, and I don't know which ones are which of you all, but I know that you all are so important to her. And I'm grateful and honored that you would grace the Kim Jacobs Show stage and platform today to share just a piece of your story. And I pray
Thank you.
I pray
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I'm so honored to have you. So honored. I could go on with this like for years because this is like never ending. Look at all of this. It's just amazing. Amazing. You have so much support and so many people believe in you, and you will help end gun violence. If nobody else can do it, Charmaine Brown can do it. You're going to help end gun violence. I see it.
Thank you.
I see it. I just see it. This is just, I see it. Can anybody else see it? All right, I'm going to stop sharing, but I see it. And I hope I got that grandchild in there that I scrolled through. Let's see, last comments here that came in. Nobody but God. Yes. Javonia says nobody but God. Did you have any? Thank you so much for this valuable information. Virginia Rutherford Hall says, I can relate. My husband is the same way. Bless the Brown family.
She is a survivor as well.
Oh, Javonia, and feel free to come up and share your story as well. And I will give Charmaine a way for you to be able to do that. And Athena says, bless the Brown family. Bless you all. And amen. Lean on each other and keep one another lifted. Yes. All of your comments have just been so encouraging today. And your story has been phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to do one last commercial break here. And then when we come back, Charmaine, say a closing comment, and then we're going to go ahead and close out, okay? Anything that you didn't get to say, and you know how you get ready to get off of a show, and you're like, what? I didn't even say this. Okay, when we come back, say this, whatever it is, and then we'll go ahead and get prepared to close off, everybody. Okay. On this one, I have to put a different background, but we'll pull that up and let this commercial run, okay?
Nothing says I love you more than final expense insurance whole life protection. With funeral advocacy nationwide, saving you and your family 30 to 80% off funerals and cremations. Nothing says I love you more than Get Insured Solutions, LLC. GetInsured.Solutions. 704-499-3616.
Lamb Funeral Home has been serving the Cabarrus County in North Carolina and surrounding communities for more than 9 years. Our staff of funeral directors are dedicated to providing the very highest quality of service and continue to be well respected throughout the communities we serve. Our professionals are caring, experienced professionals who understand that each family is unique and has personal requests and traditions. These requests and traditions are the utmost importance to our staff of licensed funeral directors. From the initial care to aftercare, you can entrust your loved one and arrangements to Lamb Funeral Home.
All right, everybody. And we are going to close out, but I want to hear a closing comment from you, Charmaine. So what would you like to say?
I want to personally tell you, thank you so much for having me. And today was such an honor to be on your show. Today marks the 6th anniversary of our organization. So thank you again for giving me the opportunity. Also, for any loved one or any family member that's been impacted by gun violence, if you would like to join the Evertown Survivor Network, you can text the word survivor to 64433. There is so many opportunities to join that grassroots army and be given an opportunity to participate in advocacy as well as educational opportunities. So again, there's a family out here that's standing with you or would stand with you as you continue to navigate your journey. So again, you can text the word survivor to 64433.
Text the word survivor to 64433. Y'all make sure you don't miss the opportunity. If stuff is nagging down on the inside of your spirit and you know you can join forces with people that are already out here doing it, it's a well-oiled machine kind of situation. Yes. Why have to start from scratch when you can jump on board to some things that's already working smoothly? Text the word survivor to 64433 and join in on all of the initiatives that are already in place. And all you have to do is go and join forces with them. Charmaine Brown, Jared's Heart of Success.org. Make sure you check that out and stay connected with this wonderful mother who's keeping her son's heart beating right here on this earth. And she's doing a fantastic job in doing so. So in loving memory of Jared L. Brown, we just want to say thank you, Charmaine, for coming on and representing your son and keeping his legacy alive. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to know how you can support the Kim Jacobs Show, I'll put this banner down and I'll let it scroll throughout the end of the broadcast here. And those are just some of the ways to be able to pour into the Kim Jacobs Show so that we can continue to bring balance to the world, one household at a time. Thank you all for tuning in. And thank you, Charmaine, for being my guest. Stay backstage. I'll talk to you for a second. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show.